Hello viewers, my name is Chase Clover and this is my review of the December 10th, 2014 edition of USW Wednesday Night Intensity number 100. This was a 3-hour special and we are 3 weeks away from Aftershock 2014. I know I'm a little late to the party, I know it's Saturday and I usually do my reviews on Thursday, but I've had some things to do. Next week I'll be going on a Christmas break, or my Christmas vacation, so I will be going on vacation. I'm not going to tell you where because I don't really want to classify that, because I know some people, some friends of mine watch these videos, and I've been telling them trying not to tell them where I'm going, just so that way they don't really try to chime in on me. But I'll be going on Christmas vacation, going on Monday, and so I may be able to do a review of Intensity number 101, being as I will come home, or come back to Connecticut for Christmas, so by, I think, the 24th or 25th, I'll be back in Connecticut, so maybe I'd be able to put out a review of Intensity on next week. We'll just have to see. I'd have to connect to Wi-Fi or some whatever, and upload it. I know Wi-Fi works better, but, I'll take the chance if I can. But anyway, let's focus on this past Wednesday night's Intensity. This was Intensity number 100. It was a special Intensity, 3-hour special. It was also the night for the new Golden Awards. They're now called Goldens. The awards go, I'm sorry, let me see the sheet, if I have the sheet. The awards that went out were for Finisher of the Year, Moment of the Year, Shocker of the Year, Entrance of the Year, Team of the Year, Match of the Year, and Performer of the Year. Some of the awards were not really, were surprising that people actually voted for those, and some of them were just pretty much obvious choices. And I'll go throughout the list of the nominees when I go through the review and when it goes on. So, Intensity number 100, it wasn't that good. It wasn't a good show, so that means, 2 weeks in a row there have been bad intensities. By the way, tomorrow is when I'm going to be going on Christmas vacation, so we'll see, if I can do something or whatever. But, Intensity number 100, it was an okay show. I liked how there was a celebration and the Golden Awards were given out, and there were a few promos and spots on the card that were worth watching, but there were many more that were not worth watching. I know you had to have a few more matches in the card because it was a 3-hour special, not like their normal 2-hour special, but I can see why there is such a large amount of matches on the card. Well, I'm sorry. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, it was not that great of an intensity. There were many spots on the card that just were not worth watching and did not make the show any better, so I'd say it was either on average or less than average. But for number 100, they're lucky that they had a few promos and matches on the card that were worth watching. So I'll get into Intensity number 100, the review, now. So we start out with awarding the Finisher of the Year. The nominees were Lane for the Fast Lane, Prophecy for the Limb Lock, and MC4 for his Pele kick that he changed to some other move earlier in the year. The winner of the Finisher of the Year went to Prophecy for the Limb Lock submission hold, and after that we went to the first match, which was Prophecy defeating Chain Reaction with Indigo Child in his corner. So Prophecy beats Chain Reaction via submission with the Limb Lock. I'm glad he won with the submission instead of the pinfall, since he did win the Finisher of the Year for the submission hold right before that match. So I'm glad he A, won, and B, won with that submission. After the match, Cannon appeared on the Motiontron and said that a Golden does not, which is the award, mind you, a Golden does not make him better than himself. He's talking about Golden doesn't make Prophecy better than Cannon. Prophecy then goes, over to attack Cannon, but Cannon comes out comes out from the crowd, grabs his golden, and then hits hits Prophecy in the head with it, knocking him off the entrance ramp, and then walks away with the golden as Prophecy lays it on the ground. And that was pretty much, this Prophecy and Cannon rivalry is getting very interesting over the past 2 weeks. And I'm interested for the match. This is one of the only matches I'm really looking forward to on the card when it comes to Aftershock. We're just going to have to wait and see, what the match is like at Aftershock. But this is one of the only rivalries that I'm actually looking forward to watching. Rivalry matches that I'm looking forward to watching at Aftershock. After that, and by the way, that promo between, Prophecy winning the golden, and Prophecy beating Chain Reaction, and Cannon attacking Prophecy, that was definitely worth watching. One of the key pieces of the show for Intensity number 100. Afterwards, we had Majigeta and Western Light talking about the main event match and telling Western Light not to get involved unless he really needs to. Kind of like don't get involved in this match. I want to win cleanly if I can win, which is definitely respectable. And then we jump into the winner for Moment of the Year. The Moment of the Year nominees were Crimson Red diving on Titanfall and MC4 through the table at, I believe, Capital Carnage, if I'm not mistaken. DHIG winning the Bulletproof Series, and Lone Wolf winning the 20-man Gauntlet match. The winner of the Shocker of the Year, or the Moment of the Year, went to DHIG for winning the Bulletproof Series. He thanked the crowd and said, even though this golden did not earn me the World Championship, or even though the thing that won me this golden did not win me the World Championship as well, it was still definitely an experience that I'm thankful for having, and I'm glad for having, and I thank the fans for, helping me with this, and I may have gotten 2 things out of it, but I've gotten 3 things out of it now. Obviously he would have gotten a 4th thing out of it had he, won the World Championship, but that's a different story for a different time. Afterwards, we went into the second match, which was Philip Akron with Chris Ross in his corner, defeating Simon Saint with James in his corner. Not much happened in this match. Simon Saint and Philip Akron had a mediocre match, not one of the spots worth watching on the card. And after we see Cannon walking with the golden and walking into his locker room, placing it on the shelf in his locker room, and just sitting there watching the show. Afterwards, we had the third match on the card, which was Western Light with Majigeta in his corner, defeating Gringo with Fernandez. And in his corner, Gringo and Fernandez are on this losing streak, and they've been on this losing streak for a couple of weeks. And that's pretty much all to that match. Nothing really interesting happened. And I don't really expect anything interesting to come out of that because, well, it's just a match. And then we see Kyle Reese walking backstage. When Zach Hardy asks for him a favor, he requests that Derek Carter meet him in the ring after the main event match, which I'll spoil it for you now if you did not watch Intensity. It was Zach Hardy versus Majigeta versus Cannon. And Reese agrees, and that's what we see at the end of the show. So that was pretty, and when Reese was walking through and Hardy met him along the way, the fans started cheering because, it's one of those moments where you have Hardy and Reese were, these buds or whatever, and then Hardy turns heel and attacks Reese and his family, and then, they're back on the same page again. That's kind of something that the fans don't normally see, especially now that Reese is no longer on commentary. It's his father on commentary. So it's nice to see, the two on the same page again, which is why the fans started cheering a lot. Started cheering. It was like a pop or something like that. I don't know what to call it. Or describe it as, or as. Afterwards, we had the Shocker of the Year. And that the nominees, please shut up, thank you very much. The Shocker of the Year went to, well, I'll read you the nominees first. Seth winning the World Championship at, I believe it was Outcast. Alexander Rotten winning the USW Championship at, I believe it was Tap Out? No Remorse. And Anarchy returning on Intensity to defeat Ash and win the Blue Belt Championship. The winner went to Seth. The Shocker of the Year went to Seth for winning the World Championship at, I believe it was Outcast, if I'm not mistaken. He thanked the fans for, this, for voting for him as the award. He said, I know that they did not like him winning the world championship at the moment, but he's glad that they, had a change of heart and were able to, and wanted to vote him for this, award. So he thanked the fans, much like everybody else was doing, at least the faces were doing. Afterwards, we went to the fourth match, which was Alex with Lane defeating BP Fierce with George Martin. And when I say with, I mean Alex with Lane in his corner defeating BP Fierce with George Martin in his corner. And then George Martin DDTs Alex through the announcers or the commentators box at the commentators table or whatever. And that was not something worth watching. It was boring and lackluster, but whatever. Next next promo was for the entrance of the year winner. It was going to either Western Light, Ash, or Chris Ross. The winner was Western Light. He may not have that entrance right now because he is in this duo type thing with Mojiger, so he doesn't have his I think it's his Doc entrance now, or his Doc gimmick entrance. But it's definitely a great entrance. It's probably the best entrance in USW. I think Zach Hardy's is the most energetic. Zach Hardy's is the one that gets the fans the most riled up. I think Cannon is the one that gets the fans most to boo the most. Capital is the one that makes the fans cheer random things when he comes out the most. And I think Western Light was the one that just had the one that had the most presence, most dominating presence. That's my opinion, though. He thanked the fans for that and whatever, but he didn't say anything special. Fifth match on the card was CED and ED defeating TJ and Will Ball in a tag team match. CED and ED, shut up. CED and ED turned heel last week and attacked TJ and Will Ball. I'm not sure if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but they attacked TJ and Will Ball and turned heel. Please shut up, please. CED and ED then defeated TJ and Will Ball and proceeded to put them through the entrance ramp. It was Will Ball or TJ getting backdropped onto the entrance ramp, and then DDTing Will Ball onto TJ and through the bottom of the entrance ramp, or near the ring. And of course, no, back away. And of course, then they ended up having to repair that, but they were repairing it when they announced Team of the Year. The Team of the Year award nominees were Cannon and Prophecy, Fernandez and Gringo, and the Martin Brothers. I would have loved to see the Cannon and Prophecy win the award, just to see what would have happened between them. The award, though, went to the Martin Brothers. George Martin went out to accept it, and Alex attacked him with the Golden for the Team of the Year, and then walked away with it, so Alex got the last laugh when it came to that intensity. So far, nothing worth watching on this card, and then we go into the sixth match, which was Dustin Raymond versus Dwayne Porter. Dustin Raymond defeats Dwayne Porter, and nothing more happens out of it, nothing more comes out of it. I don't know what else to say about this thing, I guess. Dustin Raymond defeats Dwayne Porter with his move, I forgot what it was called, the Diamond Cutter, something like that. And then afterwards, Dwayne Porter fights back and wins the fight after Dustin Raymond starts attacking him with a chair or whatever. Dwayne Porter comes back and starts fighting with him. I'm hoping that this Switchblade and Dwayne Porter versus Blade and Dustin Raymond rivalry is over now, and I'm taking it is by the fact that Dwayne Porter and Dustin Raymond are fighting now. Shut up, please. Shut up. Jeez, oh man. Dustin Raymond defeats Dwayne Porter, and I'm hoping that this is the sign to come for another rivalry that we will have sometime in the near future. I guess this is a part worth watching as long as, this tag team rivalry is over, and this is what we're going back into. Next up, we have Capital versus Lone Wolf, and Capital defeats Lone Wolf with the Capital Punishment. It was definitely a good match. This was the best match on the card, without a doubt. Actually, no, this is the second best match on the card. I realized what the main event was. Afterwards, we see Yo-Yo Joe attacking Capital, and Derek Carter comes out to help, but they stop, but they are attacked by Seth, who intervenes in Yo-Yo Joe and Derek Carter attacking Capital, and then Zach Hardy comes out, and the good guys battle back, and Derek Carter and Yo-Yo Joe are ran off, and Capital, Zach Hardy, and Seth stand tall. And then we have Match of the Year candidates. The candidates were Zach Hardy versus Morbid at Cold Greatness 9, Cannon and Mojigeta on Intensity for, I think it was the March 12, 2014 edition of Intensity for the world title, and Capital and Lone Wolf at Ultimate Consequence 2014. The winner of the thing went to Zach Hardy versus Morbid at Cold Greatness 9. Without a doubt, that was definitely the match of the year, without a doubt. And Zach Hardy came out to accept it. Morbid, of course, is no longer a part of USW. He was released a few months ago, so Zach Hardy accepted it, and he said even though, Morbid and he are not on the same page, and have never been on the same page, and never will be on the same page, he is happy to accept it and he is happy to give Morbid the credit that he deserved. He would not have won Match of the Year had Morbid not been involved as well, because it takes 2 people or more to win Match of the Year, and this was definitely Match of the Year. So much happened at that match, so definitely worth Match of the Year, and I keep going on about it because this was definitely the most deserving award. I think Seth winning the world title was also the shocker of the year. Western Light winning the entrance of the year was also worth it. And Prophecy winning the finisher of the year, and DHIG winning the moment of the year. I think those were the most deserving. But I am definitely going to say that the team of the year and the performer of the year were not deserving. I'll tell you who the performer of the year is when I get to that. We jump into the 8th match, which was Seth defeating Derek Carter and Yo-Yo Joe in a handicap match. Afterwards, they both attacked Seth, and then Zach Hardy and Zach Hardy comes out and Capital come out, and they attack Derek Carter and Yo-Yo Joe. And then Yo-Yo Joe and Capital fight to the backstage area, and they just keep fighting, I guess. And Derek Carter runs off. And then we go into the Performer of the Year, and the Performer of the Year nominees were Zach Hardy / Enigma. So it was Zach Hardy, Enigma, which were the same people. Zach Hardy, Enigma, Cannon, Mojigeta, Alex, Derek Carter, Prophecy, Lone Wolf, Capital, and Yo-Yo Joe. For some reason, and definitely the most undeserving award going to Performer of the Year, for some reason, and I don't know why, Cannon wins Performer of the Year. Over people like Zach Hardy, Enigma, Alex, Prophecy, Capital, and Lone Wolf. Out of those performers, Cannon wins Performer of the Year. First year, Cannon wins Performer of the Year, but also so many other people deserving of it. Derek Carter was more deserving of it than Cannon. What has Cannon done this year? Can you tell me any? No. I still don't know any. Alright, yeah, he teamed up with Prophecy. He won the tag titles. He was the world champion at the beginning of the year. Lost the world championship at the beginning of the year. Then went into the Small Pro Series. Teamed up with Prophecy. Won the tag titles. Lost the tag titles. Won them again. And then turned on Prophecy a few weeks ago. And started a rivalry with Prophecy. What has Zach Hardy and Enigma done? I mean, mind you, the past few years that they've had these award ceremonies, Performer of the Year, I would have not, and since they've done it, well, I'd say it's 2013, but, I mean, I definitely would not have thought Zach Hardy would have won it last year, because he didn't really do much. I mean, yeah, he won the USW title, and he was in that picture for the entire year, but you know what? I would not have voted for Zach Hardy to win that. This is the one and only year since, I would say, 2009, that I would actually have voted for Zach Hardy to be Performer of the Year. Because he, just comparing him to what Cannon did, I listed what Cannon did. Let's look at Zach Hardy did. He came back, had a feud with Morbid, lost the USW title, started a short feud with Alexander Rotten, also debuted an Enigma character, then revealed himself as Enigma, was face, turned heel, attacked the owner and his family, then turned face again, lost the USW title, won the USW title back from a guy who has been waited for to join USW for a while, went to a few different feuds, went into a great feud with Ezra and Kills at going into Bulletproof 7, and now will go against Derek Carter again. And unrevealed himself as Enigma and came back to the Zach Hardy character. Compared to what Cannon has done, world title at the beginning, world title lost at the beginning, tag teamed, won the tag titles, that's it. Turned his back on the guy, and that's it. Compared to what Zach Hardy's done. Now let's look at what Capital has done compared to Cannon. Capital won the world championship. Won the world championship from Mojigeta at one of the peaks of his USW career, might I add. Then lost the USW title, had a great feud with Seth, had some great feuds with Alex and with Lone Wolf, and then loses the world title, and then wins the world title back, is one of the most, if not the most, dominant world champions to date in USW. Look at what he's done. I can't really put Prophecy in perspective, and I can't put Lone Wolf in perspective because they haven't had their moments this year. They've had great moments, but they haven't had the moments of the year. Derek Carter, I can't argue with that either because he came in mid 2014. Alex, though, he gets attacked by his tag partner, gets into a rivalry with his tag partner, and his tag partner is his brother, his best friend. Then he gets into the world title picture, does not claim the world title, has a great big struggle trying to get to it, but then, gets to another rivalry with his brother. They get on and off rivalries, and now he's in a great rivalry with his brother, and not much with Alex, but he's done more than Cannon. Mojigeta, probably the second most dominant world champion in USW history, second to Capital, of course, but won the world title from Cannon, lost it to Capital, almost gained it back, I say almost gained it back, but didn't gain it back, and then teamed with Western Light, debuted a new championship, commissioned a new championship, the International Championship, won that title twice, get into a great rivalry that's still going on with Fernandez and Gringo, teamed with Western Light, I'd say maybe fourth best performer in USW history. Look at what they have done. This is what Cannon has done. I don't know why the fans would vote for Cannon, but whatever. I don't see why at all. Anyway, we go into the 9th match, which is the main event of the evening. Zach Hardy defeats Cannon and Mojigeta after Cannon and Prophecy interferes with Cannon, and they start fighting. And then Gringo and Fernandez start fighting with Mojigeta, and Western Light comes out to help. And then Zach Hardy helps clear out the bad guys, and then Mojigeta was like, alright, you finish off Cannon, I'll go and attack the other guys. And Zach was like, he got on his knees and want to let Western Light and Mojigeta jump over his back. So Mojigeta and Western Light jump over his back, or leap off of his back, and onto Gringo and Fernandez. Cannon tries to hit him, misses. Hardy hits him with the Hardiac face plant, and then covers him for the 3 count, throws him to Prophecy, knocks him over the top rope, helps Prophecy jump over his back onto Cannon, and then turns around, gets kicked in the face, the jawline, the top of the jawline, by Derek Carter, and while the other guys are fighting outside, Derek Carter, the camera pans to Derek Carter, looking down at Zach Hardy, and the camera turns to black. So that's a great way to go out with intensity number 100. I think the only things worth watching were the top of the show when we had the Prophecy Cannon type shit going on, and maybe the Dustin Raymond vs. Dwayne Porter thing, and the final few parts of the night with the Yo-Yo Joe and Capital parts of the night with Yo-Yo Joe, Capital, Derek Carter, Seth, the Prophecy Cannon, Mojigeta, Western Light, Fernandez, Gringo, Zach Hardy, Derek Carter thing. Those are the only key parts of the night. Then you have all the other parts. I'd say mediocre, not average, not not good enough to be average, but it was an okay intensity. It was an okay intensity, number 100. At least it wasn't terrible, because then that would have been very disappointing. Except for the performer of the year, that's the only part that's definitely not worth watching. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this review or listening to this review. Tell me what you think in the comments below if you watched this show, or if you didn't, what you think this show. Do you think the show was good enough or good at all, or do you think it was mediocre? Whatever. Leave your comments down below. Leave your thoughts and comments. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. This was my review on the December 10th, 2014 edition of USW Wednesday Night Intensity number 100. 3 weeks away until Aftershock. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Chase Clover, signing off.